We're back, baby. Wholesale Hard Knocks, episode 21. It's your boy Daryl. Got my boy Mike with me. What's up, Mike?
What up, bruh?
And I love Saturdays,
Another
bro.
episode. Just another episode. You know, I had
That's
an
my favorite
idea
part of
the
the
other
week,
day.
bro.
That's a fact. I had an idea the other day. When we
Mhm.
get to the anniversary of Wholesale Hard Knocks, I'm gonna have to fly out to AZ.
I like it. In person.
Mm-hmm.
In person podcast. I like it. I
That'd be
like it.
fire.
Pull up. By that time I'll have a studio ready. I think I'll be out the RV by then.
Mm-hmm. Dad's gonna have a mansion with the studio in the back.
Yes, sir. Yeah, what we got today, bro? What we talking about?
Bro, we're going over this is actually, bro, this is my favorite shit. This
Mhm.
is my favorite concept. Like, I love sales and real estate and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a freaking purebred, like, hustler and entrepreneur. So we're going over entrepreneurship, like what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what is an entrepreneur, what skills you need, everything entrepreneurship, just in general. That's what we're going over. And the main reason why we're going over this is because a lot of people get into the real estate business, they get into wholesale, they get into fix and flip or something like that, and they don't treat it like entrepreneurship. They treat it like a hobby. And this is like, it's entrepreneurship, right? Like, we're going to go over that right now, but why don't we start off, Daryl, with your definition of entrepreneurship?
Shoot, not even my definition, bro. Let's go over the actual definition of entrepreneurship because I don't think many people even know
Okay.
what it takes, bro. Because it tells you exactly what it takes in the definition, right? And it's
What we got?
a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so,
Okay.
right?
I
And I
love
look at that like not just financial risk, any type of risk, right? Entrepreneur, you got to be ready to take any risk at any time, right?
Yep.
And there's a
Can you
bunch.
read it one more time?
I got you. I got you. A person who organizes and operates a business or businesses.
Okay,
Take
stop at the first one.
Go
A
ahead.
person who organizes and operates a business. Okay? Like, first off, what is a business? It's in one of the first words in the sentence. It's an operation.
Yep.
So a lot of people aren't treating this wholesale or fix and flip or buying whole business like an operation. They're just treating it like a hobby. They're just treating it like it's just, something they do on their free time.
What's it like? What's a hobby look like?
A hobby is me going to the gym every morning or something like
Well,
that.
no, I'm
Like,
saying like in wholesaling. Like what are some things that people have do that treat this like a hobby? That
I was talking to a guy last week and he's like, dude, I don't think this wholesale stuff works. I'm like, okay, why? He's like, bro, because I've been calling sellers and it's just like I'm not getting deals done. I'm like, okay, what does your schedule look like? He's like, schedule? I'm like, yeah, like what does your schedule look like as far as calling sellers and stuff? He's like, oh, dude, I just do it whenever I'm free. But this business doesn't work.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
that's a hobby. A hobby is like, oh, I'll do it on my spare time, whatever. I'll send out some texts. Maybe I'll get some callbacks. On my lunch break, I'll follow up with some people. Sometimes I'll do something. Nah, yo, set up an operation, set up SOPs, set up like a standard to set yourself to. I'm going to do calls for this many hours a day at this time, right? That's an operation.
Yep. Think about it just for everybody who is doing this part time, right? They most likely have a 9 to 5,
Mhm.
right? Think about how your job is when you go to work, right? When you got onboarded, right? There's a whole system you went through, right? But now you know exactly what to do when you get started, right? And you never ever not go to work without calling nobody, right? Not telling nobody or not like making plans or anything like that. So why do people do that to themselves, right? To something that's gonna change their family lives forever, right? Like I know when I got my first taste of wholesaling and what it could do, bro, I'm like, yo, there's no way I can make this amount of money in this amount of time and not take it seriously, right? And even every day, right? Like I'm learning something new that I'm like, damn, I'm not taking this like
How much you
seriously.
making your first deal?
My first deal, I made 12,000 on my first deal.
And what was the biggest check you ever got before that?
Before that, probably like 2,000.
For like a week's pay or something like that?
Yeah, yeah,
So yo, $2,000. That's 6 times more,
for sure,
right?
for sure.
Like that's not normal. Let's talk about that. It's not normal to get a $12,000 check. You know what I'm saying? Until we normalize it. Now it's like we need more. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the day, right? Like in a regular 9 to 5ers world, getting a $12,000 check, that shit ain't normal. So how are you about to get a $12,000 check and not be like, how do I make this an operation so that this
Sure,
keeps happening?
for sure. You've been an entrepreneur for it's been before since before wholesaling though, and before real estate.
Bro, I came out the womb an entrepreneur, dog.
Love it.
Like
I love it.
I've been a hustler, bro.
You know what's crazy? I would say like my whole life, like most people who are like entrepreneurs and they get to it, they say they've been that their whole life. I really don't think I really like was forced into this life. You feel me? Like it was like I need to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like I wasn't like the kid that was like selling candy and shit in elementary school. Like that is cool. Like I love that story, but like that was never me, bro. Like I literally I was just straight football, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then
But
once I
that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, dude, let's
that
let's talk about let's talk about your definition of entrepreneur.
like we said, bro, somebody who takes risks, right? Like I take unnecessary, not even unnecessary. I take risks that most people are like, "What the? Why would you ever do this?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I put myself in a position to where it's like this has to work, right? It just has to work, right? So my definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who you gotta go get it, right? This is somebody who goes and gets it every single day, right? Different ways and putting people on as well, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
really helping other people accomplish their goals too, right? And get to it. And that's all with building businesses, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you build a business, you're helping families out, you're helping other people's lives, everything. Right. It's more than just you.
So Daryl, while he's playing football, don't you think that some of those traits align with football as well?
For sure.
So, like
For
at the
sure.
end of the day, Daryl's had some entrepreneurship in him from the jump. Maybe it wasn't selling candy bars or something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there was like football is, dude.
It's a grind. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Football is um, like literally. This is what my pops used to tell me. He's like, in football, you're gonna go through every single freaking emotion
1,000%.
possible. You know what I mean? It's gonna teach you life.
Yep.
So for Dow, right? Dow's literally in this sport that's teaching him life, that he's taking risks every day to put his school on, to make his family proud, to do all these things. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a form of entrepreneurship. Now, my definition of entrepreneurship is getting it by any means necessary on your own. Like building something on your own by any means necessary. So I look at somebody like an artist. That's an entrepreneur in my mind. Somebody like that, like somebody that's literally going out hustling, getting it on their own, a DJ, like you see what I'm saying? All that type of stuff is entrepreneurship in my mind.
For sure. You don't mean on your own though, without like squatting up with other people though, right? And leveraging other people as well. Do you?
No, that's a fact. Like I've never made any money before without other people.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that part because I don't want people thinking like, nah, I gotta do this just me, right? Because
Oh, let
that's
me let me let me rephrase it a little
yeah,
bit. On your own vision,
yeah, I like that. Yeah,
in your own terms,
yes, for
on your
sure.
own vision and on your own terms, you get it by any means necessary. That's what entrepreneurship is in my mind.
Boom. Bro, I seen a meme the other day that describes entrepreneurship perfectly. It
Mm.
was it was like this guy was tied up on like this post, right? He was like tied up and there was a bunch of fire like coming up. This guy was literally about to burn to death. hands tied behind his back. He's sitting there with a cigarette in his mouth, leaned down, lighting the cigarette. Right? I'm like, bro, this is entrepreneurship. Like he's chilling,
Yeah.
going to flames. Things are
Yeah.
going crazy, and he's chilling,
Yeah.
right? Like he's good because he's that.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking, right? Because I'm like, yo, like in this business, things are never going to be easy. In any business, nothing is going to be easy, right? Things are going to happen. Shit happens. Bullets fly, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's what we're talking about. That's what I did learn a lot of that in football, like to keep your cool, right? Like when bullets are flying, nothing's gonna help by panicking, right? Especially and when you run a business and you have other people working for you as well, and shit is just going everywhere, and they're coming back to you and they're panicking. If you panic, what's gonna happen, right? Nothing's gonna get solved. So you need to stay calm, cool, and collective. I was telling y'all last night, like
I was
I
just
was
about to ask you about that.
yeah, I was telling my team, right? Like we're sitting there and we're having issues with title. We have sellers talking about they're trying to back out days before closing. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff, right? I have to get EMD back for another deal that it just didn't work, right? Like there was so much that was going on that I was just putting fires out, right? I had so many people calling my phone asking for help, telling me they need this, and that. I'm like, okay, cool. I told my team, I'm like, yo, there's so much going on right now, like and I'm good. Like I'm good. I promise you. Like I have a huge smile on my face, right? Because it is chaos around me, and I'm
Mhm.
completely comfortable in this chaos, right? Like it's our jobs to create chaos, honestly, right? So when the chaos is happening, that means you're doing something right. Right?
Mhm.
When things get their craziest, right? That's when you know you're at this point where it's like I'm right
Let's
there,
go.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
right
go.
there,
Let's go.
right?
Let's go.
Is right. It's called the terror barrier, right?
Mhm.
Bob Proctor talks about it. The terror barrier is when like you're so close to accomplishing your goals and changing, right? Getting to that other side of where you want to be. Things go to shit. It goes crazy, right? And once you know that, okay, this is supposed to happen, right? So I need to be smiling through this, right? And just fight through it, right? Get through it, put my head down and get to this other side. Things get easier, right? Because you just accomplished your goal, right? Things get a lot easier once you do that. But guess what? If you're an entrepreneur, you want to keep growing, right? So it's gonna happen again and again and again. Things are gonna keep happening. You get to
Mhm.
keep hustling through it, getting straight through that terror barrier. But now that you know, like, okay, this is what's supposed to happen, now you can attack it because now you can be grateful for that moment, right? I'm grateful for these issues because now I'm learning something else, right? This is another tool to add to my tool belt, right?
Mhm.
Like I had somebody on my team come up to me the other day and ask me a crazy question about not a crazy question, but he asked me a question about like this about how can we take over a property sub two when it's on a blanket loan, right? If you don't know what a blanket loan is or a blanket mortgage, it's one mortgage over multiple houses, right? I gave him the answer. I'm like, that's easy. Right? I gave him the answer. This is what we do. Right. And I was just thinking, like, bro, there was a time where this happened to me. Like I ran across this and I was panicking. I had no clue what to do.
Yep.
Right. But I figured out how to do it, got through that terror barrier. And now it's like, okay, this is easy.
Yeah.
So
Literally. That I was telling you guys on the nightly dial too, the story of like the novation that I wanted to run away from.
yeah,
How freaking irresponsible it would be for me to run away from it, right? It was just a bigger deal than I've typically dealt with before. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't spend my time and energy on it. And then something stopped me, and I'm like, yo, Mike, that shit is disrespectful. It's irresponsible if you don't get this deal done, right? Go do
for
whatever
sure.
it takes. I'm sitting there like, oh, I don't want to raise the money for it. And I don't want who knows what's gonna happen with the renovation. Like, yo, nah, dog. Just go get it done because that situation is gonna come up again and again and again. And
Yeah.
then once you go through it, you can keep solving the problem. Love
Just
it.
get it done. Just
What
get it
is
done. That's all it is, bro. Just get it done.
that's it, bro. That's really just figure it out. Commit to it. Literally. This is the thing I was telling my team all freaking week. I was like, yo, commit to something and figure it out later.
For sure.
That's it. Like
Bro,
last
once
night on the nightly dial, somebody was calling somebody, and the person was like, yeah, but I really want you to come to the house. And she was in another state. I'm like, yo, just tell the dude that you'll come to the damn house. I don't
yeah.
know. You know what I'm saying? You'll figure it out later.
Right.
Like,
Right.
commit and figure it out.
Bro, one thing I noticed about most entrepreneurs is we don't take no for an answer, right?
Mm,
There's an answer for everything out there, literally,
yeah.
right? Like, and that's all it is, right? There's a solution for literally everything, and if you believe that, you truly believe that, when you're whether in your sales, whether you're talking to somebody, whether you're trying to get something done, you will find a
Mhm.
solution for everything, right? So
Yeah.
just don't take no for an answer.
That's what I was going to ask you. What are some things that you think makes a successful entrepreneur?
One is resilience, bro. Like you need to, you're going to mess up, you're gonna fail, things are gonna suck for a while, right? But just got to keep going.
Mm,
Literally, like we were talking about, you got to keep going, right? That's number one. Um, focus, focus is number two. A lot of people have lack of focus, right? Like I just got to literally just got to text and turn my head, right? It's so hard for us nowadays
yeah,
to
that was crazy. That was crazy.
it's so
that
hard for us today
was
to
crazy.
stay, not even hard, it just happens, right? Like there's
Mhm.
so much going on with social media, with our phones, with everything, right? People, friends, family, to get distracted. So easy to get distracted, right? And when you're working on your own, right? When you don't have a boss telling you to come in and clock in at a certain time, right? When you won't get penalized for not waking up early, going through a routine, getting through your day, right? And maximizing every minute, right? When nobody's going to tell you to do that, it's easy to just not do it, right? So you need to be
Right.
focused, you need to be disciplined. So that,
Mhm.
like, those are some of the main things. You need to be a leader, right? You and you need to be a lead, like, and a lot of times you got to lead. Start by leading by example, right? Starts with you, and then when other people come on, you lead them to be the best version of themselves, right?
Mhm.
It's just so much, bro. It's so much. Like I don't know. What are you thinking? What are some qualities you got?
I'm gonna break it down to like maybe 3 or 4 things that if you do these things and you are truly you fill up all these cups, right? You'll be a successful entrepreneur. You one have to have vision.
For sure.
Vision, what does that mean? That means like you have to understand what you want, right? Like, and what does that look like? What does the end goal look like, right? So that's one, vision. Just like literally we're on the to football right now. So I see the end zone, right? I see like there's 100 yards and then there's the end zone. I got to get in that end zone, right? So if I didn't know about football, I had no idea what the heck football was. I wouldn't know that like that was the end zone and that's where I was supposed to go. So you need vision. For two, I would say you need a blueprint. Like you need to understand how to go get to the end zone, right? You need to understand the playbook. Like what plays am I going to have to run in order to get down to the end zone? How do you get that? You have a coach, right? Or you have people around you like Daryll. Daryl's been through the fire. He's been doing deals and stuff. I need people like Daryl around me, right? Teaching me what to do, giving me the blueprint. Um, I would say number three, you need conviction, right? Like I'm getting in the end zone. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go through all these plays in the playbook. I'm gonna get there. That's
For
like
sure.
I'm getting there no matter what. So I'm convicted that this is gonna happen.
That yeah, for sure. Especially the last one, bro. The conviction and like just the faith, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you need to know like the back of your hand, like whatever you're doing is gonna work. Even if it's just not gonna work, you need to believe that it's gonna work, right? Um, super important, super important. What was your first I'm curious now, like you, because I know you've been an entrepreneur for a minute since you were born, bro. What were some of the first things you did that like made you realize like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm a hustler?
Yo, I'll tell you. I didn't even know what the hell entrepreneurship was, bro, until this very day. I was in college. I used to cut people's hair like in my dorm room, right? I played football in college, so I used to cut everybody's hair. I used to post up on the freaking board in the locker room, like, yo, at whatever my Snapchat was, shoot me a Snapchat. I'm cutting hair in the dorms, I'll be cutting hair from this time to that time or whatever. Book your appointments. I didn't know what entrepreneurship was, right? Until I'm cutting some dude's hair, right? His name was Donnell, my freaking guy Nels, and he's like, "Yo, Mike, you know something?" He's like, "You're an entrepreneur." I'm like, "What the heck is an entrepreneur, bro?" I've like heard it in like magazines or something like that, or on TV or something. And he's like, "Yeah, bro, you're a hustler. You're getting to it." And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just doing this is fun."
Right.
Like literally, like I did need the money. Like I needed the money to, whatever I was doing in college. You want the money for booze and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was using the money for, obviously. But literally, I enjoyed being booked up with all those clients and hustling and putting my stuff on the board, right? Like that is fun to me. And I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was until that happened. And literally, after he told me that, I started researching entrepreneurship. I'm like, this somebody's telling me that I'm an entrepreneur. That like I didn't bring it up; they just told me. So let me look at it because that's probably what I am.
Yeah.
And I started looking in. I started deep diving into stuff, and then maybe a year or two later, I really dove deep into Gary V content. So like Gary V was my freaking guy. That was like my first. I don't know if you want to call him a guru or influencer or whatever you want to call him, but that was the first dude that I dove deep into, and I followed all his stuff. But I would say, like, are you asking like when did I realize it, or are you asking in my younger ages, like what I was doing?
Both. Both, bro.
I
That's
would say,
that's fire.
yeah, I would say that's when I realized it.
Yeah.
And then in my younger days, like, um, let me think about it. I used to what I used to do, right? I used to go to my grandmother's house.
Mhm.
I love her. My nana's house, actually. Used to go to my nana's house, and I absolutely love my nana, right? But I would go there on purpose to clean up her yard because I knew she was gonna pay me to do it. Right? Like I'd be like, all right, I want to go hustle and make some money. So I literally go to my nana's house on purpose so I can go clean up her yard so that she would pay me. Like those things, those are the little things that I did as a kid, right? Like doing things on purpose. That's another super deep level into entrepreneurship. Once you start digging deep into it, doing little things like that for a purpose. Like, hey, I'm gonna go over my nana's house. I love my nana. I want to visit her, but at the end of the day, I want to go hustle and make money. Not saying that I'm
Yeah,
hustling my nana, but like, I guess that's what you could say. You know what I mean?
for
So
sure.
literally, just like those little things. Like I guarantee there's things that Daryll does. I know there's things that Daryll does. He's told me, like planting seeds, doing things on purpose to push the ball forward, to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Like that's what I used to do when I was younger.
Awesome, bro. Yo, I love it. I think the main thing, like the main thing that keeps coming to my head, bro, is just like resilience. Cause like I can't say it enough, bro. Like shit is gonna go wrong. Shit is gonna
Mm-hmm.
hit the fan. It's gonna hit the fan. Every day something's gonna go wrong. And once you get used to that, and unless you just like expect it to happen, like it needs to happen, I think you're gonna like you'll be good. Anybody will be good.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna hop on the phone with 100 sellers a day, and you think everything's gonna go right.
Hell no, not at
You know what
all.
I'm saying, like things are gonna go wrong. You were saying yesterday that you and Olu used to hop um, in a freaking living room and just call sellers the whole day, every day for a whole summer.
For sure. From
And
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Literally.
that's gangster, bro.
Yeah. All day. We're making
Mm-hmm.
calls. Like this dude, he would even, and that's why it's important, like in this business, to get like a battle buddy, right? Somebody who's gonna hold you accountable. There were days where I was just waking up and Olu's knocking on my door, like, yo, come on, let's get ready. Let's make some calls.
Mm-hmm.
Got a table with them, brought a table and a chair with them every day. I'm like, bro, just leave it here. You're gonna be here every day. Like, just leave it. And it
Mm-hmm.
just became like we were doing things like I'm very competitive, right? Like entrepreneurs, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are competitive, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
to, right? You want to be the best. right? Like you're not starting a business to be mediocre, right? You're starting a business to be the best. I don't care what business you're starting. Anybody, I don't care who you are. If you're starting some type of business, you want to be successful, right? You want to be the best that you could be, right? And
Hmm.
that's what being around other people like that. I think that's the main thing, bro. Like if you want to start becoming an entrepreneur, if you're not one right now, you need to hang out with entrepreneurs. Like that's the very first thing you should do.
Mm.
And plug yourself in those rooms, right? Find somebody who is doing what you want to do on a regular basis. Figure out how you can provide value to them. Don't ask them how can I provide value to you, because most of the times, like like they were saying, like it's not. It, what was his name, bro? My bad, I forgot his name.
Ben Humble.
Ben Humble, yeah, Ben
Shout
Humble.
out Ben Humble. That's my
Shout out to
freaking
Ben
guy,
Humble. Ben
bro.
Humble's the dude. I
That's my
forgot,
guy.
I forgot his name, but shout out to Ben Humble. But I remember what he said. Shoot, and he's like,
Hmm.
half the time successful people, they're not. You can't provide any. How can you provide value to them, right? Like you need to study what, figure it out, right? See what I'm missing, right, and provide that value without asking. Just give it to me, right, and force yourself into those rooms. Make it so that this person needs to put you on game and show you what the hell they're doing, right? And
Hmm.
not even that, it's just like it's the energy, the mindset, the certain things that you pick up from being around other successful people that's just gonna make you successful, right?
Yeah, bro. Like if I wanted to get in Daryl's world, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna get Daryl leads.
Bro, no, exactly what you did, bro. You did. No, you're like,
What did I
yo,
do?
you need to be on YouTube. Let's do a podcast.
Look at that, right?
Like, what the hell? Like, you're like, you need to be on social media more. And he's like, we're doing a podcast, and look what
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing. We're doing a podcast,
Hmm.
right? Like, that's exactly how you do it. He didn't ask me. We literally
Yeah.
had one conversation, and then the next conversation, we're talking about our podcast that we're putting together.
Oh no, you know what I did actually? I got Daryl on my podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I had a podcast probably like in the beginning of the year that I started, and I was like, you know what? I need to get Daryl in my world, bro. Daryl's a good dude. We had a couple conversations, but let's have a podcast, chop it up, and see where it goes from there. And it ended up leading
exactly. Now you're one of my best friends, bro. We're gonna make a lot of freaking money together.
big facts. Think about that.
Like,
Think about what 5 years
the
from
world
now is
together.
going to look like. We're gonna
Right.
be on yachts, hanging out, bro. But
Exactly.
that's what I did, right? When I got out of college, there was this guy named Rodney, my freaking guy. Like this was like my first actual mentor, right? Um, and he didn't do anything that I wanted to do. Like he wasn't in real estate or anything. He literally owned a chiropractic office. He wasn't the doctor. He just owned the chiropractic office. I don't know anything about chiropractic offices. Like I had no like desire to be a chiropractor or anything like that. However, I knew that this guy made a lot of freaking money, right? So I'm like, all right, how do I provide this guy some value so he teaches me how he's making all this money? And essentially, what I did is for him, he dealt with a lot of car accidents, right? Like he would get a lot of leads and patients from car accidents in the city, and who had those leads? It was lawyers.
Hmm.
So I would literally go out to all the lawyers in the city and make relationships to get patients in the door. But I just knew that he had something that I wanted. It wasn't the chiropractic stuff, but it was the entrepreneurship. It was like him being super successful, running a business on his own terms. And I was like, that is what I want. How do I provide value to him? I provide a value. And he taught me a lot, like just in life and entrepreneurship in general. But to Daryl's point, like you got to go surround yourself with those people. I would not be in this position right now that I'm in right now. I would not be literally sitting here in my office if it was not for Rodney.
Bro, there's so like now that I'm thinking about it, right? There's there's steps, right? Like once you start being an entrepreneur, you're not just an entrepreneur, right? Like there's steps to get you to that like top level, like Pace Morby level,
Mm.
right? Like Grant Cardone level, right? Like they just start off on the level that they're on right now, right? The first thing you got to make a decision, like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna do something to change my family's lives generations down the line, right? I refuse to only be an employee, right? I refuse to be an employee. You need to make that decision first. That's step number one, right?
Hmm.
Like you're
That's the vision.
that the vision, exactly the vision, right? So once you make that step, then it's like, okay, now what, right? Now you're now you're pretty much self-employed, right? Like you go from okay, I need to work for myself. I need to be an entrepreneur. Now you're working for yourself and you're self-employed. What Pace call it? Hugging toilets, right? Like you're
Hmm.
literally doing every single thing, wearing every single hat in the business,
Hmm.
right? Which you you may be in that that step for a minute, for a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it may take a minute to get out of that, right? Then you have to grow to get that mindset. Okay, now I'm a business owner, right? And you
Mhm.
become a leader. Then you bring other people onto your team, right? Now you're responsible for people's families, right? Which is a completely different mindset to have, right? It's like, okay, if I don't wake up today, when you were self-employed, if you didn't wake up today, if you don't work today, you don't eat, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like I'm a business owner, I'm a leader. If I don't
Hmm.
work today, my employees' kids don't eat, right? Like if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, the people who depend on me to literally live every single day and get paid every single week will not be able to feed their families if I don't do what I say that I'm going to do. So it's a completely different mindset that you'll get, right? And I recommend don't force yourself into that spot too fast, right? Like enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, right? Like work for yourself. I think be that self-employed person for a little while until you have to, until you it's like, okay, I
At
literally
least try it.
what do you say?
At least try it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
try it
like you can try it with a 9 to 5 job still.
for sure,
I would actually recommend that for most people,
for sure, for
right? Like,
sure.
try it. You might get in it. You might get in this stuff, right? And be like, dude, screw this. I just want to go to work and be told what to do and go hang out with my kids, right?
It's not for
Maybe
everybody.
that's your personality. Yeah, maybe that's your personality. It's not for everybody.
For sure, bro. The main thing, like we said, right? You gotta make that decision, right? And then do like you said, do both for a while, for a little while, until it's like, okay, it just makes no sense for me to keep going to work. Like once you start losing money because you're going to work for half the day and then you're making more money outside of work, like me personally, I wouldn't do it, right?
Hmm.
I just go straight to my entrepreneurship because you're gonna make way more money, help way more people, right? Um, so once you do that and you're like actually the worker, right? Now you're pretty much become a manager, right? You become a I'm sorry, that was a step I missed, right? After you're self-employed, right? After you're self-employed, you need to become the manager, right? So like that was a step that I'm slowly stepping out of this manager phase, right? Where I'm like managing my team and I'm going to start replacing myself with managers, right? And becoming the business owner, right?
Hmm.
Um right, which is now you have a like we were talking about earlier, right? An organization. I have like, okay, when I bring somebody on, they're going through this process. They have these systems. I don't need to be here for every meeting. I don't need to be here for any meeting, honestly. I don't have to do this if I don't want to. My business is still going to run. Right? I can
Hmm.
go to Hawaii for a week, not talk to anybody on my team if I wanted to, and literally business is still rolling like usual, right? That's that's when you're the owner, right?
Hmm.
And then there's other steps, right? Like I haven't gotten to those next steps where you're literally like the entrepreneur investor is what they call it. That's level 4, right? And then the true entrepreneur, right? I can't even give any feedback on that yet because I haven't gotten there. Like it's important to know where you're at, right? Like I'm
But
in
you have
this.
the vision. You have the vision though.
I have the vision for sure. I have the vision for sure.
And I would even say that maybe not the whole blueprint, but you got the blueprint.
For sure.
Like because you're surrounding yourself with the right people.
Oh yeah, bro. And it's a
And
plan, right?
and what? Then you're convicted, like, yo, I'm gonna get the shit done.
Exactly. There's no choice. I have no choice but to get it done, right? And
It's
then it's literally written out, like the plan and the blueprint, bro. It's literally like Don Rich was on here a couple weeks ago. He told us to get that planner, right? I literally planned out, I mapped out the entire blueprint on how I'm going to make every single dollar, where I'm going to donate this money, what I'm going to do with it. It's literally mapped out, right?
yo,
Things may change.
Face put on his story the other day. The shit, like literally, I was looking at his story. I got the chills.
Yeah,
He put on his story like random thoughts or something like that, and he was like, "I know literally step by step how I'm going to become a billionaire."
for sure.
The reason why it gave me chills is I'm like, I know that he does. Like
Yeah,
literally, like I'm convicted that he knows that what he's got to do, and then it
yeah,
put myself in my mind, and I'm like, I got to think bigger, bro.
got
I'm
to
like, I gotta think bigger. I'm over here thinking millions. I gotta think billions, bro.
billions, bro.
How do I make the blueprint billions, bro? Because right now my blueprint is millions. I need billions. Fuck that.
Yeah, bro. You gotta map it out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Let's we need to start hitting each other up about that planner, like going
That's
through the planner.
facts. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. We're gonna do that. We got to do that. Let's
yeah,
start doing it after the show, like in the back scenes.
facts.
Um, there's a fourth thing that I think would sum up my whole thing, right?
Hmm.
So you have vision, like what is it that I'm gonna accomplish? Um, and then you have the blueprint. Then you have conviction, like I know I'm gonna get this stuff done. What keeps you going? What keeps you on the field to get into the end zone?
It's why you're doing it.
Purpose.
Purpose. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah, bro.
Those four things, like yo, you're gonna be a killer. That's
Yeah.
it.
It if your reason for like every goal is what I'm learning, right? Every goal that I set needs to
Mm-hmm.
have a reason why I want to set it, right? Or something like I make it emotional, right? Because I want to add feelings to my goals, right? Like I want to incorporate like feelings and how other people are going to feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
When these goals are accomplished, right? Stuff like that. So you got to have a why. It has to be bigger than you. Um, Keston talks about you have different whys, right? Like you have a why for yourself, you have a why for your family, you have a
Mm-hmm.
like an ultimate why. Like there's so many different things that you need to tap into. And another thing, bro, just mindset in general, right? Like like you need to entrepreneur, they need to continue to want to grow, right? In all aspects of life. In all literally all aspects of life, not just
Mm-hmm.
business, but their relationship with God, right? Relationship with whoever they believe in, right? Relationship with yourself, your mindset, right? Like literally reading books, right? Like readers are leaders, right? Like just doing things different, right? Like you need to be able to just be different than everybody else because everybody else, if they were doing the same thing, they're doing the same things and they're exactly where they're at, right? The 1% is the 1% for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They go the opposite way. Like you see everybody
Dude,
go left.
I was listening to Steve Harvey yesterday.
Yeah,
Here's what he said. He's like, first off, fun fact, he didn't own a car until he was 38 years old.
it's crazy.
Literally, the homeboy was living out of a car that his freaking pops put like 250 miles on before that. Finally, at 38, he got invited to come on a show, use the check to finally buy a car.
Crazy.
Like wow, bro. But here's what he said. He's like, one of the number one things that has made me successful is that I see my change coming, right? And I accept it. I accept that I have to change. And he's like, what makes me so powerful is that literally before the change happens, I could see it coming. And it's almost like I'm on a train. and the train is going pretty fast and it's about to hit a wall, right? And the wall is the change, but I get off, I jump off in a creek, or I jump off like before that because I know what the heck's coming and I prepare for it,
Mhm.
right? And I just keep changing and I accept it. So I'm not gonna sit in the cart of the train and just be like, oh, whatever, you know, this train. See what I'm saying?
Right.
With the wall coming, you're just sitting like that. He's like, nah, I see it coming, bro. I'm gonna jump off and I'm gonna change. So
Yeah.
literally, he just keeps leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. He's like, the other people on the train, they're my homies that are with me. If they stay on the train, bro, RIP. Like, sorry, you hitting the
Sure.
wall, bro. Like,
Bro, you
you better
need to
walk.
for sure. You need to be a problem solver, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Problems come, you got to solve them, right?
Yeah,
Like it's like it's like a big game, right? It's like we're just playing a game, a real life game, right? Like
it
we're
really is.
literally accomplish. You solve these problems, okay, you get to the next level. Oh,
It's
here's more
another level.
problems. Solve these problems. I go to the next level. The problems only get harder. They only get harder, right? Just like you're playing a game. The levels only get harder the closer you get to that boss level, the closer you are, like the closer you are to winning that game, the levels get harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if things are hard right now, then they're supposed to be good. They're supposed to be hard, right?
You should get excited. You
Get
should get excited
excited.
when you see that wall coming.
Bro, I literally just learned this. Like literally a couple weeks ago. My high performance coach, shout out to Keston, right? Like this is
Shout
what
out
he
to
taught me
Keston, bro.
for real. Shout out to Keston, bro. Happy anniversary to you and Jazz. Um, bro, he's the one about that terror barrier that I was just talking about earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, like I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, damn. So I should be excited when these problems come because I know once I solve them, I'm on to the next level, right? Like
Word.
once things are going crazy, this
That's
is
a
when
good.
I should be going the hardest, right?
Right.
This isn't the time to tuck your tail
Mm-hmm.
and feel sorry for yourself and
Yo,
complain.
can we sum it up like this? What homegirl Colleen said.
Oh
Shout out to
man,
Colleen.
go ahead, say it.
It's either you wake up, you could be a little bitch,
Yep.
you could be a boss. So literally, you see the wall coming, that shit's about to hit the fan. Jump off the train, man. You might get a couple scratches. You know, you'll be all right. So at the end of the day, jump off the train and fix it, bro, and level up. Because if you jump off the train, there's another train right down the street that you go get on, and you're off to the races to the next level.
Yep.
Like Pace, I hop on a Q&A with Pace like probably 2 months ago, and I was struggling with my acquisitions team. Like pretty much, I was struggling managing my acquisitions team. Now that we're talking about managers and stuff, managing them to get consistent deals without my help.
Mm-hmm.
And the advice that he gave me, bro, literally, like I texted him probably a week later, and I'm like, dude, literally the day after you told me that advice, I felt like I just leveled up. Like I literally feel like I'm a whole new person. Like I'm in a freaking video game, and that I unlocked the new level. And I was honestly like, dang it. Now I gotta go a whole nother level until I can level up again. Right?
For sure, bro.
It's a good feeling leveling up at first because you're like, oh my God, this is holy shit. I jumped off the train and now I'm on the other train. But dude, I want to get to the next wall. Can we hurry up? I want to get to the next wall.
That's all it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The whole mindset shift. It's literally a whole mindset shift, bro. It's exciting.
It is.
It's like what
I'd
you
be
got.
curious.
What do you say?
I'd be curious to anybody watching. Like, what do y'all think it takes to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, let's see something in the chat. Let's see something in the chat. Shoot.
When did Daryll? You talked about like being forced into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah, like just like my whole story, right? Like, and it now that you brought it up, right? Like with football and stuff, that
Mhm.
did teach me a lot, right? Like subconsciously, like I was now that I'm thinking about like all the traits that I have that are helping me in this business and just businesses that I own in now and in the future. Um, right? Like so, just like my story, right? Like the very first deal that I got outside of like my marketing was when I wholesaled my mom's house, right? I had no clue what the hell wholesaling was, right? I just figured it out, right? Like my mom was like, "Yo, I don't know what to do. I can't keep continue to make these payments." I'm like, "All right, well, let me figure it out." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me figure this out and see what we can do. Right? So I didn't complain. I didn't ask questions. I asked questions, but I figured out what the answers were. Right? I went out and got it and just did it. Right? So like that was like that's why I say like my first taste of like, oh shoot, like I'm really like I'm a hustler, right? Like I'm gonna go get it, right? That was when about 2 years ago when I first got into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was crazy, bro.
I
You
love
got
it.
some Isaiah says discipline, 1,000%,
Ooh.
1,000%. Just like we were talking about earlier, right? Like, and it's even tougher when you're an entrepreneur because you're not gonna get in trouble for being late. Nobody's here to yell at you. You're not gonna get fired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be self-disciplined and you need to choose, right? You need to choose to be disciplined. It's just a choice, right? Okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Now do it.
Mm-hmm. I would say discipline ties into three of the four that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The most important one being purpose, right? Like that's what's going to get you the discipline. It's not even at that point. It's not even discipline. It's just like, yeah, this is above me. Like I'm gonna tell you something, Daryl. What's in like my purpose and vision? It is not me. It can't be me. It's too big.
for
Like
sure,
there's something else in here, yo. So that's what ends up creating the discipline.
for sure,
Like it isn't just Mike. There's a higher power somewhere, like forcing this purpose and vision in me that is making this happen. You know what I mean? And that's what ends up being the discipline. But also conviction. Like you're convicted that this is gonna happen. So why the heck wouldn't you wake up every day and do it?
for sure,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying?
And just to hit on that point that you were just saying, right? Like, yeah, these ideas that we get, they don't come from just nowhere, right? Like, I
Mhm.
truly believe every idea that I get, every thought that I have, it comes from God, like
Yeah.
literally, bro. And
Hmm.
it's up to you to either implement it, put it in action, or forget about it, right? Like I try to write down every thought, every idea, everything that just comes to my mind. I try to write it down, right?
Mm.
Because you're gonna forget about it. And if you think that's you're the only person who that idea came to, you're wrong, right? Somebody else got that idea as well, and somebody took action on it. Could have been
Hmm.
you. It could have been
Right.
you, but it wasn't,
Hell yeah. The blueprint is the last one. The blueprint tells you like, yo, if you're not disciplined, this thing don't work.
for
If you don't
sure,
hit your KPIs, it's just nothing. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't work.
for sure. Oscar said you need balls and having that gut feeling that lets you know that you're meant for more than the norm.
That's God, bro.
Like,
That's
yeah,
God. That's God giving you the vision and the purpose. Like, yo, it ain't you. I know I'm not normal. This ain't normal, bro. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? What we're doing. Actually, think about it. It's freaking 1 p.m. on Labor Day weekend where most people out at pools, they're on boats, they're doing whatever. Yo, this ain't normal. We're trying to make an impact, bro.
For sure.
That this isn't normal, but it ain't me. It's not Mike. It's not Daryl. It's something else.
For sure. You definitely need balls, right? Because I see a lot of people who they care about what other people think about them, right? You
Mm,
can't, right? You need to step out there and just be like, yo, this is what I'm doing, right? You just need to do it. And somebody had said earlier, jump and the net will appear, right?
mm.
That takes balls to jump when you
I
know
like that.
when you don't know like what's coming and you're like, nah, I'm doing this anyways, and you take that risk, right? That means you're yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're going after it, right? Like you got the cojones. You feel me?
Hmm.
I love it. Sacrifice. Thousand
Mm-hmm.
percent.
That's it.
1000%.
There's a lot of sacrifice, bro. Shit, we literally just said it. We could be out hanging out. Like I have homies that are out having fun, even though I think this is more fun, in my opinion. Like
Bro,
literally, people going out doing all their things. It's Labor Day weekend, bro. You
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying? I would rather be sitting here with Daryl chopping it up.
For sure. Bro, that's one of the main things I think I sacrificed is relationships, bro. Those relationships that were no longer serving me, that aren't where I want to go, right? If it's not the same place, like if
Hmm.
I see my vision is this way, right, and my old friends is somewhere completely different, I had to sacrifice that relationship, right? Like that's something that okay, I can no longer be around. Like I still love you, right? But I can no longer be around you and just like be exposed to the same way you're thinking and same things that you're doing, right? Because some people they don't want to get better, right? And if you want to get better, you need to sacrifice those friendships and get new friends who are doing things that you would like to be doing,
It's
right?
the train, bro. You jumped off the train,
Yeah,
and the train ended up crashing into the wall. But you ain't boo boo the
100%,
fool, bro. You jumped off.
100%,
You get on the
bro.
next.
Like, and like you need to be unapologetic, right? You need to be selfish, right? Like these
Mhm.
sacrifices, you got to be selfish. Like it has to be a point in life where you're like, okay, no, this is what I need to do, right? And there's nobody who's going to knock me off of this path. Like, bro, I was talking to this girl yesterday, right? It was on FaceTime, and I'm like, yeah, I can't be on the phone for too long. I got things I got to do, right? Like, I'm busy, right? She's
Mhm.
like, I need your attention. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't give that to you. Like, I can't give it to you. That's what I cannot give you right now, right? It's my
Right,
attention is way more valuable in other places right now,
right.
right? So like, I'm willing to sacrifice any relationship if it's holding me back from what I need to do.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there need to be some non-negotiables, right? Sorry, not sorry. Literally,
Because it would be disrespectful for you to entertain it, bro. You know
for sure.
what I'm saying? Like as we're on the topic of the higher power, if a higher power is giving you all these ideas, purpose, and vision, and whatever's coming into your world isn't aligning with that, what you just gonna be disrespectful and disrespect the highest power? You know what I'm saying?
For sure. He said that's different for everybody. For me, it's intelligence, hustle, determination, loyalty.
Mm.
Some good ones. Some good ones. I like it. Burkhead said heart, ambition, courage, all of those.
All of them, all the above.
Bro, I really want to end this by letting people like guys, if you guys are wholesaling, if you are in real estate, no matter what you're doing, right? If you're building something that has the opportunity to change your life and your family's lives, your kids' lives forever, take this shit seriously, right? This is not a hobby. Take this seriously. If you have a 9 to 5 job, use 5 to 9, 5 to 10, 5 to 12 to change your family's life, right? To change your life, right? Like make this a business, dude. No longer treat this like a hobby. Make sure you have, and this is even for me, right? Like I'm talking to myself right now because there's some things in my business that I need to tighten up, and make this more of a business, right? Make this
Yeah.
more of an operation, right? So take this shit seriously. Do not play with this opportunity that we have. Like we're taking the steps to learn, right? Like I look at every single day as an opportunity, right? Every day, me running a business is an opportunity for me to change not only my life but millions of other people's lives,
Hmm.
right? So don't take that for granted.
Literally, this ain't no joke.
Yeah,
Like take it with all your heart, bro, and run with it.
for sure.
Because, because if you don't, it's just disrespectful at the end of the day and irresponsible. So really, just take it serious. And at the end of the day, I here's what I would do. If I was getting into wholesaling and I was treating it as a hobby, right? And I'm listening to this right now, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Like, I just want a couple deals to, clear some debt or something like that, and they're doing this wholesale thing, and they're like not too excited about it, I would jump. Like, Jet, this ain't for you, bro. Don't take this lightly, bro.
For sure.
You know, go find the thing. There's something in you that you can take serious. Whether it could be your job, it could be like you can go level up in your job, or you maybe there's a different hustle or something like. But whatever you're doing, just go full fledged into it. There's a higher power telling you that you need to.
Hell yeah. I love it, bro. I love it.
Ended on that, bro.
Let's definitely end it on that one. You got anything else, bro, before we wrap this up?
Man, we got a bunch of people watching today, and it is Labor Day weekend. People just grinding, getting after it on Labor Day weekend. I freaking love it.
You're a dog.
I'm so grateful for anybody following us, watching our content.
Love it. I love all y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to both channels if y'all have not already. If you did, y'all the best. If you haven't, what the hell is wrong with you? Make sure you follow us both on Instagram. We have a lot more coming, a lot more in store. We're just now getting started with Wholesale Hardknocks. So we'll see y'all each and every Saturday, 9 a.m. Arizona, 12 Eastern time. See y'all next week. We out of here.
Yes, sir.